Welcome into the Lantern Sports post-game show. I'm your host, Gabe Burggraf, joined by our sports editors, Jacob Benge and Stephen Kishpaugh. Ohio State moves to 8-0 with a victory, 44-31 over the Nittany Lions here in Happy Valley. Stephen, a lot of points on the board compared to Iowa, only 10 last week. What do you see from this Ohio State defense?
Well, the defense kind of looked a little bit shook by this crowd at the beginning of the game. I thought that in general, Ohio State looked pretty shook. The running game got off to a pretty slow start, but the defense at the end of the day, you could really call it the JT Tuimoloau game. He had an unbelievable day. He had a forced fumble, 2 interceptions, one of which was returned for a touchdown. I think 2 sacks. He was absolutely outstanding, and that's not to take anything away from Zach Harrison or Jack Sawyer either, who also did amazing. The secondary looked a little bit uneven at times. Parker Washington for Penn State was absolutely electric. He had over 100 yards receiving, and Sean Clifford, as he typically does against Ohio State, looked pretty good as well. But at the end of the day, Ohio State put up 44 points, and even though the offense didn't look great, Jacob, what did you see from them?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week against Iowa, really a tale of two halves almost. Ohio State got outgained there in the first half. Penn State has a halftime lead, and Ohio State and Ryan Day go back into the locker room and make some adjustments. Ryan Day talked about how C.J. Stroud was the Buckeye who led the rest of them to make that fourth quarter comeback. They were down going into the fourth quarter, and then Ohio State takes the lead. And Ryan Day talks about wanting to at least manage the clock a little bit, but then here comes Travion Henderson with the 41-yard run to give them the lead. They scored 28 points in the final 9 minutes of the game. That's a lot different than how it looked in the first half. C.J. Stroud finishes with over 350 yards passing, only 1 passing touchdown to Cade Stover, who Ryan Day pointed out as well was one of those Buckeyes who was able to rally the troops, so to speak, and give Ohio State that extra juice it needed in the fourth quarter to salvage a top 25 win that it's going to need now that the CFP and college football playoff rankings get unveiled here come November.
Absolutely, and a lot of field goals in the first half, a lot of situations, not as much scoring through the air or on the ground by either team, punching it into the end zone. But Ohio State found ways. They found burst plays to kind of manage that clock and get themselves in good position to advance to 8-0. And they'll look to get to 9-0 next week at Northwestern at noon on ABC. We'll have all the coverage for you there. Myself and Casey Smith with the video. These guys, Jacob Benge and Stephen Kishpaugh with the written word. And for us at the Lantern, this has been the Lantern Sports postgame show. Take care.